This is Fowl Players Radio, your podcast for arts, entertainment, and pop culture. Welcome. My name is Michael Spedden, your host. Every episode features fun, fascinating stories about people in the performing arts, actors, authors, dancers, writers, musicians, athletes, you name it. Folks who are center stage, backstage, on camera, or behind the scenes. Sit back and listen. Let's have some fun. Fowl Players Radio is a proud production of the Fowl Players Group and the official podcast of the Fowl Players of Perryville.
Hey, you guys, this is Gina Shock, drummer of the Go-Go's.
Snowman here.
Hey, Mary Jo Peel here.
Hi, this is Kathy Ladman.
Hi, this is Jay Nedry from the Road Dogs.
This is A.D. Adams, and you are tuned in to Fowl Players Radio with your host, Michael Spedden.
And welcome back to another episode of Fowl Players Radio. Michael Spedden here. We are proud to have August, John Piette, Jerry Bozic, and Kevin Schmidt return to the show to talk about their new CD, plans for new videos, plans for new recordings, and the relocation and opening of their DreamTraxx Studios, coming soon to Ocean City, Maryland. Links to August music, their studio, and their videos can be found in the show notes. If you're interested in professional comedic entertainment in your venue or fundraiser or other event, please consider a murder mystery from the Fowl Players of Perryville. For bookings and other information, please call us at 443-600-0446 or email foulplayersperryville@yahoo.com. And our website is www.foulplayersofperryville.com. Don't miss the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. We feature songs you forgot you liked, current and classic local rock, hard rock, and metal classics that never die, and people that are on the up and up. All kinds of great stuff there, folks. Tune in every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Listen on your computer or download the app so you can listen everywhere you go. 97underground.com. We at Fowl Players Radio are proud to support fellow artists, and we encourage you to consider shopping small and supporting them as well. Links to their books, albums, music, tickets to their shows, and other items can be found in the show notes of every episode. We thank you for tuning in and listening. Remember, you can help us greatly by clicking the like and subscribe buttons and giving us a fair and honest review. Our main website is foulplayersradio.com, and our YouTube channel is youtube.com/@foulplayersradio. We'll be back right after these words with August.
Hi, this is Bud Becker.
Hi, everybody. Dwight Weems from Gaz the Fun Band.
Hi, folks. This is Jay David.
Hey, this is Brian Damage from Kicks and Rhino Bucket.
Hi, this is Kim of Kim's Crypt.
Hello, my name is Gunhild Carling.
Hi, this is Paul Castiglia, and you're listening to Fowl Players Radio, the one-stop shop for all your pop culture needs.
And welcome back to another episode of Fowl Players Radio. Michael Spedden here, and returning to see us again is August. These three guys, the little band from Northern Virginia, and always a pleasure to check in with them. They've been putting out material constantly. Always good news from August. You know, I've been listening to their new CD that's been out, always watching their videos, and never a dull moment with these three. You know, they're always putting out something that's always good, and it's always good to have them back. So welcome, fellas. How are you?
No, we're doing good. Good to see you again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, in keeping with your good news and everything, you know, I've gotten a copy of your new CD, and from what you're telling me, I mean, you've got like a million songs since then, but you know, it's like, you know, one after another. I mean, you guys are like the Keebler elves down on the tree there or something, always churning out music. But the CD you gave me, I got a copy of that. I've been listening to it, and it's excellent. So tell us about this.
Well, in 1978, I put out an LP before I even had an August band. I'm sort of like Tom Schultz. And we did real good. And then I formed August, and we went out and played it. And then over time, it started going crazy online and being sold for $700. It's still to this day being sold for $160, $200, which I don't have a thing. So Mike Strauman was my manager for years, and probably 10 years ago, he goes, let's redo it as a digital CD to stop this stuff. We did that. It didn't stop it. It made it even worse. So we just sort of let it go and it just took it as a compliment. And then back in the 70s, Jerry was good friends with Frank Marino, Mahogany Rush.
Oh yeah.
August did an opening for him at the Wax Museum. And then a couple years ago, I saw an article where he said he had just paid to get his original 2 albums back because, you lose the rights to the label. Because as a sober, more experienced guitar player, he wanted to see how he would play the original songs today. So I tell these guys, I go, let's redo that LP and do it ourselves and make now with the technology we got. Because back then I didn't know anything about the studio. I was relying on the engineers and it was never exactly 100% what I wanted. So we went ahead and did it. And that's the CD you got. It's called Revisited. On the cover is my picture from 78 and picture from 2022. So that's what we did, thanks to Frank giving us the idea. And
Right.
so it's been a lot of fun. When I did the album, I didn't have a clue what the labels wanted. So I had a variety of songs. There's a song called Working Man, which was like a Detroit Bob Seger type thing. Atlantic Records picked out Now I'm Ready and the ballad Keep On Trying. That style, you can listen to those 2 songs and go, that's where I'm still at. They go, this is how you're going to make a career with this style of songs out of 10. And so it helped. So we went back and redid it the way I really, with my experience now, and real happy with it, And like I said, it's not as good as some of the songs I'm doing right now, but hey, for a 21-year-old kid with no experience, it was pretty good.
Yeah. That it is good material. It is good material, and it is always good to have a chance. I mean, I listen to stuff I did when I was 21, and I'm like, damn. And I'm thinking I have like a laundry list of things that I think I would change too. Just right off the top of my head, and they stick out like a sore thumb when you listen to them and everything. So it's always good to have a chance to go back and repolish and everything. It's such a shame sometimes when you're under sometimes things have to go out because you're under a budgetary restriction, you're under a deadline to get it out there. And sometimes it just ends up being the voice in your head, whatever time you hear it. But it's good to have a chance to go back and revisit and redo it and everything. And it's definitely good stuff. I have it and I've listened to it numerous times. It's really well done. And so you're going to be moving your studio, your home base, rooting from Northern Virginia. And tell us about this.
A couple of years ago, my wife and I were ready to retire from our day jobs. And we bought a place in Ocean Pines, Maryland, right on the Isle of Wight Bay. We love Ocean City because it's nonstop festivals and activities. And I've been going up there since the 70s. And I toured up there back of the rack and stuff during the 80s and enjoyed it. And so DreamTraxx Studio, the house has bigger accommodations. So the studio is going to be bigger than what it is here, which is really great. And really excited about it. Plus, there's a lot of music activity. It reminds me of the 80s up there, with all the bands playing, the clubs, and everything going on. And a lot of people I've known from the 80s that we all toured in those days. A lot of them lived close or there. And I'm hoping to get together and do some collaboration on some publishing songs together. And we're always looking for like great singers and male singers. And I think there's a real good opportunity to find even more good talent up there. That's there. I know it's there.
It is. And you're right about that. I do know of, a number of people that I've known from, years ago playing music. And there's still great venues down in the Ocean City area. I mean, of course, the Purple Moose is still there. There's a number of them, and it's quite a few towns up and down the, Atlantic coast there. I mean, you could say, when you move up a little farther north, of course, there's, Rehoboth and Dewey Beach and Bethany, plenty of places in those areas to perform. And a lot of people that are down there are doing it, performing, getting a beach gig, which is great. Plenty of money doing that and plenty of job security because there's always people wanting to come down there. It's for
the last 2 years we've been going. We have a couple bands, the local bands that we like. There's a place called Coins, there's a place called Barrels. There's a bunch of rock clubs You go there, it looks like the 80s. We were all there in the 80s and still there. It's really great. I mean, but some of these places you have to get there early. You don't, there's no seats.
Yeah,
You
you're
up
right.
More than once. It's like the old days.
Mhm.
And the bands are having a good time and making money. And
Mhm.
I like the festivals. The problem we've had in the past was that the guy did our main agent, he passed away. Our manager retired. Cellar Doors no more. Jack and Dave used to put us on the big shows. And we had met up there 2 years ago with a promoter. And I agreed to let him take me from Delaware to North Carolina doing festival stuff. And we were actually scheduled a bike week that year. And he had a bad health problem and fell apart. So I'm interested as an August rock band member for us to do some of the festivals that we were offered in the past that we weren't available to do. We definitely would do that. We're not into playing 4 sets for $25.
No, that's
but we love to play 2-hour set or whatever. And that's one thing we're gonna look into.
Right. And I think, that you're in the same boat as a lot of other people. There are people that still want to get out there and play. But as we've gotten to a certain age, the going out and pounding the pavement for 4 or 5 sets a night, or at least, sometimes even 3, it's just gotten to the point where that's just not desirable anymore. And I think a lot of people at this point, they want to get their magnum opuses out there, so to say, show why they've been doing this for such a long time. I have, people are saying, I don't want to get out there and show people that I can play Proud Mary for 40 years. I want to get out there and show them what's been in my heart and what I want to express after all this time of doing this here, why I've been out there to do this, what I've always wanted to get out there. And a lot of people are like yourself, doing their own recordings, doing their writing. Whether they make $1 million off of it or not, they just want to have it out there. This is me. This is what I've done. This is what I'm doing. And this is, and getting out and doing the festivals is a great way to show that, because you get yourself a good set. I guess the times probably vary, but you get out there and you're being you. You agree?
Well, in the last 2 years, we've been approached, especially from UK, well, Europe. Let's say Europe as a general. One guy was big name, hooked up to a lot of big bands, legit, and he wanted us. He went through my catalog. He came back with a song called Thunder. He loved that song, but I never push it, so he had to go through all my songs to hear that, and I respect that. He actually did his job, and he goes, "I can get you the deal with this label in Germany, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Why would you guys want an old band?" Like, he goes, this is what he said: the young guys are good, but you old guys write the best songs. So,
hey,
okay, I'll take that. I took it as a nice compliment. We do write good songs,
You do, you really do. And
I'm talking about our generation. I think our generation, the 80s people, still can put out some good stuff.
Certainly, and I've noticed that too. Like one thing, when my wife and I go to the theater, my wife has been doing theater since she was knee high to a grasshopper. And, she's trained and been taught by some of the top people out there and has performed at that level. And, when we go see a show, a theater, play, she's got that eye for everything. She doesn't miss a thing. And she knows when something is well done and when it's not. And with me listening to you, since we've gotten to know each other the last couple of years, I've got to say, the 3 of you are really one hell of a unit.
Thank you.
3 of you complement each other well. The 3 of you are all excellent players. And when the 3 of you, I think the 3 of you work together very well and put out a great product. I can just see all kinds of great chemistry there. I think the 3 of you fit each other very well. And I think, you're just, a unit. You're, pieces of a machine that fit together very, very well. And the material's good. The final product doesn't lie, and I'll tell you that, and I'm saying that from somebody who, has been a musician, has been a rock and roll fan for 40 some years, if not longer. And I mean, that's really, just looking at what you all have done in the time that I've known you, that's what I've come up with. That's, the opinion that I've formed.
Well, we really appreciate that.
Yes.
Since we don't do the touring like we used to, we still, now everything being digital, we can see the different age groups responding. And like I said, we haven't put 100% in the promotion of this stuff. We've been just doing it. Once I retire, then it's going to go back to being really hands-on and really push and see. Even though there's going to be some distance, most of your bigger bands are not in the same city. You have to get together and do things, and the opportunities for us is a lot better up there. That's going to be one of my first things to do, is look into what's going on. I sort of already know, and because we like what we're doing, we're going to continue what we're doing. Keep putting out CDs. We got one ready to come out early summer, and we just like playing and recording.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, to keep it, and the fact that you have the resources, that you did invest your resources and put together a facility where you can do it.
Right.
You have your studio, and you've learned that end of the business very well too. From doing it for yourselves and for other people. I can tell by the level of success that you've had in getting other people's acts out there, as well as putting out your own product, that you've gotten to be very, very proficient at that as well.
Well, see, I was very fortunate back when I had Rugby Road Studios. I partnered with Paul Wolf, the owner of API, that designed all these $1 million consoles, and he's just phenomenal. He was actually the house sound at the Bayou for many, many years. They called him Fix.
Yeah.
And he gave me a lot of his equipment to use, high dollar stuff that you'd never be able to afford to do. To try this, try that, push this. He brought people on, like George Thurgood's band was there. When you had the big guys to deal with, where you had a guy who worked on the kick drum for 3 days. It's a learning experience.
Oh boy.
Just how they did it. And plus, the live sound, I've worked with just about every big name, all the Stones, Lollapaloozas. I actually ended up with the White House doing Clinton and Bush's campaigns for broadcast. That was me. Did Mandela and de Klerk. So I got myself doing a lot of stuff. House sound at the Patriot Center. Did a lot of stuff in DC. So that's how you just keep. I was, before they could finish, they go, who wants to? And I put my hand up. I would do it. I played on a lot of records. I played on a Laotian rock record. And today people don't realize you need to go to the studio. If you're offered a situation, you got to go do it. Back in my day, you just did it. And one day I'll have to find that CD and let you hear my Laotian. They liked it, but it was all in Laotian. I had no clue, but it was a lot of fun working with these guys. It was a band called Les Seagulls, which was really big in Laos at the time. But you got to do stuff like that to do. So all that experience has helped us now. As a producer, my job is, you bring me a song, my job is to get you where you want to get with that, which means you may not, I know how to get you there. And that's the goal. And the same with us. Jerry and Kevin put up with me was, sometimes they're like, you don't know what the hell he's talking about, but they see them. My wife is really good. She's been around 6-7 years now. She goes, it amazes her where it starts. She hears it where it's like, what the heck is that? And then where it ends up. So she knows now the very first rough draft and where it's going to end up is like a total, she's always excited and amazed by where it's going to end up. I hear it here.
Yeah, it is. It is. And something, I'm kind of agreeing with what you're saying here. You had mentioned that somebody had said to you, the old guys write the best songs. Well,
good songs, not the best.
That were good, right? But and a lot of that too, I think you really have something when you have an experienced person in there when it comes to songwriting, or even when it comes to any kind of performing, really. Because I think you've gotten to the point where you know who you are, You know who you are, you know what it is you want to do, and you know what's just right. I mean, I can remember when I was, 14 years old, and and I got my first bass, and me and my buddies were fairly proficient. You remember those days, we all go through it.
Oh yeah.
And we said, we're going to write these songs, and I'm going to have a monster solo in it, and you're going to have a monster solo in it, and it's going to be we're going to have a drum solo in the middle. It's going to be incredible. Like, no, and it gets to the point where you learn moderation, you learn where less is more, you learn where more is more, and you really get more of a polished perspective in your head as to what can be good and what can work best. And but I tell you one thing though, I've had a couple of acts on here, a bunch of fellas, and men of a certain age, our age group, that are have bands together. They've had some younger members come in, and old souls, so to say. They may be 25, but their mentality, their mindset, where they're coming from is much older than that, and they're a good fit, that does happen from time to time. You see it in just about any kind of performing art you want to do,
Yeah, but it goes both ways on that. Sometimes one thing I notice sometimes is you have to explain you can't do a melody on a melody.
Right.
And we had that happen a couple times. And Jerry and I called Jerry and just listen to this. And it's hard to explain to some people. They don't realize you can't do that, It's like when I first started, the rec company used to go, where's your bridge? Where's the bridge? Where's the bridge? And I'm like, what is a bridge? What is the, now we write bridges all the time, but
yeah.
You got to pay attention, and never take it personally.
Right.
I had people come to me and go, listen to your songs. I know everything you're thinking. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that's what I'm thinking. It's what I thought to write the song, but I write about what you might have done. I might not have done it, but so it's not that easy. And the biggest thing I've had to deal with writing as an older songwriter is that I can still write stuff that we wrote when we were 20. And because people our age still understand it, you know what I mean? It's not taboo. We're not writing about children or nothing like that, but it's just like different things that romance and stuff. And also it's been brought to my attention to be aware of the new phrases and stuff. That's why on that one CD, Straight Fire is a big thing with the young kids. I mean, what it does, and Money Walk. So that's all taking stuff, especially from the LA part. So I incorporate that, and then they get you basically say, listen to what's out there. That's you say all the time, listen to what's out there and write something like it. But I listen to what how these songwriters are using different phrases and different things, and incorporate it. It's pretty interesting. I have fun with that. But like I said, we have a song called Fantasy. It used to be called Walking for 3 years because we never could. We had the first 4 lines, which were perfect, and it just, where do you take it? Where do you take it? And I finally got it there. We haven't tested it yet because we've been working on this new song, which is came out yesterday, a new video. And so now that that's out there, we're going to go back and work on that. But sometimes it takes a while. But I've learned this. Atlantic Records told me one time, we can't tell you, but you'll know when you know.
Yeah.
And I used to go, you can't tell me, but I'll know when I know. They go, exactly. And it took 10 years to understand what he was talking about. And it's just when the song is ready. I had another big time lawyer from the rec company said, you don't have to write a hit, write a good song. Let the artist worry about making it a hit. Just write a good song. So, okay. So, you take all that in, you just jumble it around, and the main thing is just getting the door open. That's harder than writing the song. But once you get the door open, like we did on the thing, everybody knows who August Rock Band is on the label back in the 80s and stuff. So it wasn't, once you get there, and we're about 10 years or so right there into this. It takes 10 years took 10 years to get a record deal. We actually got several offers, and it's taken like 10 years. And we've had some offers, but it's not good. Because one thing they can do in publishing, which I've learned the hard way, they can sign you for a year to represent you. And if they don't do nothing, they get an automatic extra year without you. You can't do nothing about it. I just had that happen from a big company. They did nothing for me. Well, I think they did something. I can't tell. We got one song at 6 million plays, and it was with them at the time. So they got it out there. I didn't see them full money for it. But they used their option year to hold it a second year. And on ASCAP, it says that song, the songs on that CD, there's another company putting their interest in on it. So, they're aware of it. So that's the way it works. So you got to be real careful.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, you really have to know what everything in the fine print says when it comes to this. And that's something, I've had you on to talk about that too. Really understanding what it is that you're signing and what it is that you're doing when you do this, because they know, and they're not going to say, oh, you see this part right here? This is what this means. I mean, they're like, hey, look, we're putting this on the table, sign it, or not. And it's not our responsibility that what it is you're signing. It's up to you. And to really learn that end of the business is just so important for so many people. I mean, I think I had mentioned to you before, and I don't know if you heard this episode. I had Jay David from Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show.
I did listen to that. I did.
And my God, did they get stiffed?
Yeah.
I mean, none of that stuff from, cover of a Rolling Stone era of that band. They just saw their daily stipends and per diems for touring. They never got those royalties, and people made off with the money. It's a shame that he had to wait for people to die to put that book out. But if you listen to that episode, he's a piece of work too. Everybody in that band was. You can tell just by looking at their album covers that here comes trouble with these guys. But I really enjoyed talking to him and just, hearing his stories as well. But, you really got to know what you're signing. And there's just so much language out there. And, people are like, well, we can't afford a lawyer and we can't afford, well, you have to. You have to.
Well, see, Atlantic signed two of us out of this market, two bands.
Yeah.
I turned them down at the last minute because I realized something wasn't right.
Yeah.
They looked at me, they looked at each other and go, there'd be no support. And you got to break, back then they called it breaking a song. You got to promote it. It would have come out at Christmas with AC/DC, all the big name bands for their Christmas. The band that took it had that happen to them. But they looked at it and said, we'll give John's deal to Baton Rouge. Go look on Wikipedia, the band called Baton Rouge. It says they got a 2-record deal from Atlantic. Nothing. One guy got a job in another band eventually. And those songs are not theirs anymore. I was getting calls. I still get a case from Nashville. Do you own your masters? I go, yeah. How'd you do that? I go, I didn't sign the paper. I own my songs. Like Frank had to pay to redo his own songs that he used to own, So you got to be careful. One big contract we had, there's a paragraph that said sub-publishing. And I was like, what the hell's that? The publisher that I signed with could sell it to someone else. I could get a call from you one day going, I'm Michael, I own your song. I took the right from Jerry. I wouldn't know who you are, but you would actually have my song because he sold it to you.
Exactly.
It's still my song, but you own the publishing for how many years? So I didn't like that idea at all. And then we had that one big name person, legitimate person. We talked for several months, sounded really good deal. He's the one who went in my catalog and picked a song that blew us away. Then he sends me the contract and he goes, I will pay him $3,000 a month until.
Right.
And I call him, I go, man, I can't believe he did this to me. We talk and he goes, and then he said a statement that woke me up and I respect him to this day. He goes, listen, I've been there. I can make you millions of dollars. I can sell millions of your records. You're not doing nothing. So to use my experience, you got to pay me first. Once you start selling, I'll go to a percentage.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, he's got a point, because as a producer, I brought in 1 or 2 bands over my career free to help them, and they don't finish because they don't have any money in the fight. For him to go promote me to the big names, I had to commit to him with financially is the best way to do it. But I didn't have that kind of money to pay him just to speculate, But he was right 100%. He had the experience, I didn't. And I wasn't making any money, he could. So I just couldn't do it. It'd have been great though,
Sure. I'm sure it would have been. I'm sure it would have been. You are going to be, actually, you have a new video.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, I like reading a lot of bios on people in the business, especially producers, engineers.
I love it too.
And Sunset Sound out there, which we ended up with one of their consoles at Rugby Road. Paul Wolf got an API board from them. And I watched them a lot. And they talk about Ted Templeman. He was the producer of Van Halen, Doobie Brothers. And the thing was, he always made his bands do a cover song.
Oh, yeah.
Van Halen did. Really Got Me. They did 2 or 3, Pretty Woman. In his thoughts, that's how you break a band, by getting people to like their cover stuff. He did Doobie Brothers did cover. Everybody except Montrose, which he holds responsible for them not being successful because he didn't hold them to that rule. So
sure.
We're doing real good. Like I said, we're getting played all around, but I like to throw a curveball. And when August was touring all the time, we would do a cover song. We used to do Let's Spend the Night Together, Dancing Days, things no one expect to hear. And the originals, all of a sudden you do Let's Spend the Night Together, but our version, and people really liked it a lot. They go, we never hear that in a club. I try to do that. So we looked for the last year or so, different songs. We looked at Lowrider. I really want to do it, but it didn't happen. And so finally, I saw on YouTube.
You mean by war, right? Yeah. Low Rider.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah, we thought that'd be cool to throw a curveball.
I like the bass.
Yeah, the bass sounds good.
Yeah, I tell you, I think you two would sound good playing that. I mean, John, of
I
course.
thought we would, but we threw it out there. It didn't really work, so then we didn't spend a lot of time on it. We could go back to it. So anyway, so on YouTube they had anniversary special of Trevor Horn, the producer. Frankie,
sure.
Hollywood, all those bands, and
the Buggles, right?
Hollywood actually did played 3 songs on the show. And they did Relax, and one with the original singer. Holly didn't do it with them, but it just blew me away. I remember that song. I loved it so much back then. I loved the bass line and stuff. So I threw it these guys, and it came out great. So it got premiered in the UK back in early November, and it went over really well on the radio in the UK. And so we shot a video right after that, and it came out yesterday during Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, you have there's a station, right, or some sort of I guess internet radio or terrestrial radio in Britain that's been playing your what was that?
Yeah, ARFM UK.
Okay, yeah.
And Colin Noble is his show.
That's right.
An unsigned band. We're on there with Alice Cooper, White Snake. It's not just all unknown bands, and bands from around the world.
Yeah,
They like us, and they do us a lot. He plays off that CD I gave you. He did Time to Party a couple of weeks ago, and we sent him a vinyl record, this 45 too. I don't know if he did play that.
Yeah,
he did play it. And, but he's a great guy. It's a great show, and we promote him here, and he does a lot for us there. And they have rules where they can't say anything like the website, but he does a good job of letting people sort of figure out how to find us.
Yeah, we all have those rules to follow here. I can't play. Well, the what is it? The platform won't let me put music on this show, but I can talk about your website and everything else. And then of course my counterpart show 97 Underground. I can play music on it and everything. So that's why I also have my musical acts on there as well, because I, try to give people as much exposure. I mean, there's so many great, talented people out there and everything. And, people should have, the one thing that drives me up the wall and that I'm finding out more and more is really a falsehood is that people are just like, oh, there's no more good music out there anymore.
Right.
There is. But the thing is that they're just not getting the attention on the top 40. They're not getting pushed by the powers that be. It exists. I mean, there are a lot of acts out there that they were big. They always say they were big in the 80s. Well, they've been around since the 80s. I mean, I guess grunge kind of kicked everybody in the butt a little bit, but like some of these acts, like they've never stopped putting out music. They're still out there. I mean, a couple of lean years during the grunge era. And I don't know. I have my own opinions about that time. But
I was off the road at that time, so I'd already come up. I came up in 98, 99. So it goes around.
Right.
In Europe, from what I'm told, Europe is still 80s rock.
It is.
It is over there. And so, that's why we get a lot of airplay there. And I see from the ASCAP statements all over, Norway, we get all over the place, Japan. I re-released the 45. I had, for years, I carried like 1,000 copies of my 45 from 1977. And I put it up for sale and the collectors went nuts over that thing. I had somebody just get in touch with me last week, ask if there's any more. And, but a lot of them went to Japan. So I don't know what's going on in Japan, but I've never been there. We'd love to play there, but they like our 45 there.
Well, the one thing that, and you'll notice this too, look up any heavy metal band from that era, the 80s, whether it be, I'll give some examples, Saxon.
Right.
Except, of course, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden. If you look at their tour dates, okay, they may be coming to the Anthem on the big side in America. They may be coming to Ram's Head in Baltimore City. Then, if you look at their European dates, Wacken Festival, stadiums, this stadium in Switzerland, this stadium in Norway, this stadium in Japan, this stadium in Brazil. It seems like there's still a huge audience for this.
Right.
And it's as if that era never went away in these countries, because these bands are still, and they're playing there, and it's not like, it's an empty stadium either. I mean, these places are packed, and that music is still extremely popular over there. So it's a great, to have the connections to get into that market is just wonderful.
Yeah. But that guy, the guy that wanted to do the publishing with us, he said, if I put that song Thunder out on the BBC, it would hit, if it hit the top 25, we would be invited to every festival there was in Europe. That was his counter thing. Well, if you do this, you'll get that. It's plenty of money, blah, blah, blah. But that's the way he says it works over there. Now, how you get the BBC to play stuff, maybe, I don't know. We didn't go that far. Sometimes you have to pay.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people pay to play.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Yeah.
But that's what the alternative was. So, the song should go to the top 25.
Well, good.
But we didn't do it, because of $3,000. But
right.
But anyway, so it was a good learning experience, and we're having a good time, and we want to play live, but we're not going to. We don't fit in the winery from 3 to 5 for $100.
No.
That's real big right now, and there's a couple people that put a lot of videos up of bands playing to nobody. Those guys put a lot of time and effort into doing this, and to go to play a place to nobody, 10 people, it's got to be disheartening to them. I don't want to go back and do that kind of stuff, because but that's what you're seeing locally now. Those city, I'm up there, and you can't even get in the building. It's packed.
Right.
Up there is a total ball game. I told the guys, once they're up there, we'll look into that, because you'll get paid to play up there. But no matter what, you got a big crowd that wants to see you, that comes out.
You're right about that. The wineries and the microbreweries are very, very popular venues to play nowadays. And a lot of times when they do have live music, they'll have a few bands there and they'll get, a good crowd. But, and again, too, it boils down to going out there and doing original music. These places don't appreciate that. And it's a different audience here, I think, in America too, than it is over in Europe. I mean, they really do have the appreciation for the original music over there in this genre. And secondly, again, I've never been over there to witness a show, but it seems like when we were going to shows, 30, years ago, before that, we were there to see the band. We weren't there to photograph ourselves seeing the band, where we were the center of attention and the band was just in the background.
Right.
And it just seems like there's just not, and I really think too, and we were talking a lot about when it comes to money, when it comes to the streaming and the downloads and everything, I don't think, maybe this is unique to America, but I just don't think the audiences have the appreciation here anymore to what goes into this. They want to have this song free. They want to have that free. They see ways to get everything free, but they really don't understand what goes into it or really have a sense of that, hey, I should be supporting and paying for this. It just shouldn't be free. Do you agree with that? I mean, you know what I'm
kind of because it costs us so much to leave the studio to go live just in sound alone.
Yeah.
If you can get one for under $300, you're doing really good. So if I'm going to pay $300 to $500 for a great sound, so we sound good, then and you want to pay me $300, I'm going to pay $200 to go, plus all the other things. It's not worth it. And I have a picture I have to find. When we were touring all the time, my road crew one day took everything out of the bus and truck and stacked it out. And it's a great picture of all the sound, all the lights, everything, all the spots, everything you had to have in the 80s to play any place.
Oh, yeah.
You had to have the whole package. And we talk about carrying the follow spot around, and a guy that can operate and this and that giant sound system, and that's the way it used to be. But you made enough money. If you were good, you worked all the time and made enough money to cover that, because our sound system was over $10,000. And this is in the 70s.
Oh, easily.
It'd be what, 30,000 today or 40? And you're making, pretty decent money. You weren't going to retire off the thing, but you made enough money to survive and have a good time.
You sure did.
But so they don't realize what you had to go through to get there.
Right.
And it's not like we're a band that you can put two speakers on a stick, as they call it.
I know.
And but we want to do the right sound. We during COVID, we were doing videos and the things. So then when you couldn't go out, it was like the reviews started going crazy over our videos. So we just did it for a year. We did what do we call it? It was lockdown videos, when everybody's locked down, and we were putting them out almost every week.
You were, yeah.
Videos are getting thousands of views. People really liked it. So then we incorporated it into the next. We're still doing it, but we went from lockdown to summer videos. We just kept putting them out because it's great marketing and people enjoy it. People want to, today they want to see you. They just don't want to listen to you.
Right.
It's not like the old record days. So, and that's worked real well. And we've done real well without me putting 1,000% into it, because I haven't had the time until once I retired. Then we have a lady that came out in Nashville, and she goes, I get up in the morning, have my coffee, go online, check my message, then I write some, then I go, and it's like, good Lord, I'd love to be able to do that. I don't have time to do all that stuff, but we've been getting a lot of great connections on LinkedIn and around from the industry, people, notable people. And once I have the time to communicate and to follow up, I know better than to start something I can't finish. So I'm letting it out there. And then hopefully when I have the time to do it, because every day I've got 4 websites, I need to go up there every morning and get on there and work. You know,
Yeah.
I got an answer today, and it's cheaper than buying an ad. You know, it's gone crazy. YouTube used to do a lot of promotion with us, and they gotten so crazy you can't even think about doing it anymore. They used to be like $20. They go pick 3 states and they send my song out to, you know, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, or West Virginia. You know, and they come back like 6,000 people listen to your song or saw your CD on sale. That's long gone. You know, I think I don't even know what they charge anymore, but they don't offer that deal no more. But you know, things have changed, so you got to make your way any way you can. There's so many things that you pay. I show the guys all the time. We get offers. We want to put you on this radio station, 10,000 stations. Then you get to page 3. It's $250. You know, it's always a take and there's no guarantee.
Right.
We've had that. You know, I show them it's always a catch. There's always a catch. And there's a thing out there where they'll give you 10,000 views on your video. But I know somebody who did it and they had 20 likes, 10,000 views and 20 likes. To me, that meant you had almost 10,000 people that didn't like the song.
Yeah.
It backfired. You know, I need 10,000 likes, not just 10,000 views, you know.
Sure.
But if people want to pay $150 for that, and I've seen quite a few. When you see, go look next time you're out there, start looking at that, and you see the fake. And I'd rather have 300 to 1,000 legitimate people that I didn't pay to come listen. And all we did was put it on YouTube. We didn't push. I'm eventually gonna start next year. I'll start pushing this stuff like it should be. Right now, it's a luxury for us to have fun, entertain our friends.
Yeah, right.
I want to turn it back into a full-time business, and that's how I'm going to do it. So,
right.
It's pretty interesting, you know.
Yep, and like you were saying too, you just like backtrack again to the stick PA. You know, that's the stick PA, no sound man, and then your friends are there, and they're like, "Oh, we couldn't hear you."
Hey, they're doing it on their phone now. I saw a man with the guy on his phone doing sound.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God.
But
it wasn't bad though. I'll give him credit. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I've seen people walk around with iPads and they're adjusting this level and that level. Well, you can do that, but the thing is that I've also seen that backfire.
Right.
Where it didn't work, and they didn't have a plan B to fix it or anything. You know.
See, if your hair on your arms or your head's not moving from that low end. I'm like my 15s or 18s out there running the right way, you know.
Oh, exactly.
That's cool. You got to feel that kick drum. If you listen to my songs on my CDs, you feel that, you hear the kick. My live sound, Jerry, you know, drummers always like my mixes. You feel that kick. We used to have a big system in a small room. Remember that? And it was just, I'm surprised we're not dead, but you sit there and every hair you have would be moved from boom, boom, you know.
Oh yeah.
That's a big part of our sounds, the low end.
Oh, it is. And I mean, again, Kevin and Jerry, I mean, you guys are just, spot on and just a great rhythm section back there,
Wait till you hear the new video, the song, Relax. The low end is kicking. The bass and the drums and the keyboard is just killer. I played keyboards, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
Nothing crazy, but, it just adds to it.
Right. Well, very good. Well, great. Well, guys, it's been great to catch up with you and everything. Congratulations on all the new stuff that's going on here. I'm sure you're definitely looking forward to moving into your new home for DreamTraxx in a couple months here. So what I'd like to do now is, we'll wrap it up. We've got your website and your plugs and everywhere you can find everything. So go ahead and tell us about that real quick.
Well, our main website is augustrockband.com. That's all the band history and up to date. Augustmusicgroup.com is all our publishing songs. DreamTraxxStudio.com has the original studio and still in Virginia, and it's got pictures of the new one under construction in Ocean City. So eventually the Virginia archive, it'll still be there, the pictures. And I've added a lot more classic equipment to this studio up there. I got my control room is twice the size, and it's going to be really great. I'm really excited about it.
Excellent.
And, Reverb Nation, we're on there. YouTube, we're on the August Rock Band. You can catch us, usually if you go on augustrockband.com, we've got links to everywhere.
Okay. We
And,
will, and we'll put those in the show notes, everybody, so you can find out where you can see everything you need to know about August, the band here. So,
and they can send us message. We communicate off there too. We get a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
And right now there's a fan club in South America and one in Spain.
Is that right?
The
Hey.
one in Spain translates, August is good for my brain. Hey, I think they love the songs. He's basic. It interprets weird, but they're saying they really love the music.
It's funny how things can get lost in interpretation sometimes. I was I remember one time I was I'd mentioned to you I was working, I've worked a lot of construction jobs, and there were a couple of guys that were immigrants that their English was just very, very minimal. And they were trying to tell me jokes, and all the punchlines were like way off. And it was more funny listening to that, because of the fact that they just, they completely missed it. You could tell what they were trying to say, but the way they put it was just funnier, actually.
Yeah. Hey, the guy in South America, his town, I can't remember, is in the jungle.
Wow.
I think it's like 100 miles to the nearest big city. So I don't know how we got there, but he bought the CDs. I sent them to him.
Hey.
But it's pretty amazing,
It is. Well, wonderful. Well, thanks, guys. It was, again, remember, August, the rock band, DreamTraxx Studios, and you know where to find them and everything. We will have all that information in the show notes. So, guys, thanks again for coming back. It's always a pleasure to see the three of you. And thank you all for listening. This is Fowl Players Radio, and we'll see you next time.
Keep rocking.
Hello, listeners. We at Fowl Players Radio thank you for all of your support over the past 10 seasons and nearly 300 episodes. We would like to encourage you to keep listening and spread the word. Audio versions of all episodes can be found on our main website, fowlplayersradio.com, as well as on many of the other platforms you can see here. You can find all of our Season 9 and 10 episodes, as well as some best-of episodes and shorts on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@fowlplayersradio. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to get alerts when new episodes are released. No matter what platform you choose to listen, you can help us greatly by hitting the subscribe button and giving us an honest review. You can also help us by supporting us at patreon.com/fowlplayersradio or at buymeacoffee.com/fowlplayerw. Your support makes it possible for us to continue to be your one-stop shop for all of your pop culture needs. Be sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for new episode announcements and news and updates on all of our guests. Thank you, and enjoy this episode. And thanks for tuning in again, folks. It was great to have August come back. It's always good to catch up with those guys and find out about what they're up to now. John Piette, Jerry Bozic, and Kevin Schmidt are always a pleasure. Thank you, guys. And again, lots of great news with them. New music, new videos, DreamTraxx Studios moving to Ocean City, Maryland, all kinds of great stuff. So make sure you check out their websites. Their websites for their music, their videos, their studio can all be found in the show notes. If you are interested in professional comedic entertainment in your venue, you know where to find us. We're the Fowl Players of Perryville. For bookings and information, please call us at 443-600-0446. Email us at fowlplayersperryville@yahoo.com, and our website is fowlplayersofperryville.com. Remember, Tuesday at 4 p.m., do you know where your children are? Well, they should be with you, and they should be listening to The Michael Spedden Show, The Back of the Rack on 97underground.com, Baltimore's Pure Rock Worldwide. We feature songs you forgot you liked, current and classic local rock, hard rock, metal classics that never die, and bands that are on the up and up. Tune in every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Listen on your computer. Download the app so you can listen everywhere you go, 97underground.com. And we at Fowl Players Radio are always proud to support fellow artists, and we encourage you to consider shopping small and support them as well. Hey, the holidays are right around the corner, right? Links to their books, albums, tickets to their shows, and other items can be found in the show notes of every episode. Hint, they make great gifts for the holidays. We thank you for tuning in and listening, and remember, you can help us greatly by clicking the like and subscribe buttons and giving us a fair review. Our main website is fowlplayersradio.com. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/@fowlplayersradio. And we will see you next time, folks. This is Michael Spedden signing off.